When the Mists of Pandaria got announced, a lot of players turned their noses up, including myself, and called this the downfall of World of Warcraft. Especially after the cataclysm failed to live up to expectations of players with its poor end game and having nothing to do but raid and re-roll alts. But the mists have now lifted on this expansion after its announcements just under a year ago, and reactions so far have been fairly impressive, with people calling this the best expansion yet. Why is this? I decided to resub after hearing the buzz about it and give you my impression so far, and if it is worth resubbing to this new piece of content.
I am pleased to report that the battle at sea goes well, War Chief. Our forces report decisive victories off the coasts of Daenerys and Tol Barad.
Alliance blood spills. This pleases me, General.
There's more. I received word that our southern fleet engaged an Alliance envoy. We chased the royal flagship until it ran aground.
Aground? Where?
Apparently they found a massive, uncharted landmass, shrouded by dense mists.
And you let the Alliance get there first! Redirect the invasion fleet! General, you and your best veterans will pave our way. Storm the shore, and paint this new continent red!
The cataclysm has been diverted, Deathwing has been destroyed, and the world is finally safe. However, tensions between the Horde and Alliance have never been higher. War has broken out between these two aging factions, and when the new mysterious continent of Pandaria, the war moves there to claim the rights of that land for the Horde or the Alliance. I will admit I'm a big WoW lore nut, and the idea of a war-based expansion has got me excited, and when a new continent with its own original lore and not falling back on previous baddies for its content, it makes a refreshing change. The continent of Pandaria is an interesting one to discover, with it being untouched for thousands of years, and how you will interact with its peaceful people and what effects the war has on this tranquil land. The overall threat when not dealing with the war between the Horde and Alliance is the Shah, demonic elemental creatures that feed off negative emotions. With the war kicking off, it sets off a catalyst of events that revive these once dormant creatures. You can actually see the effect your involvement in this war causes, and it gets even more dramatic the further you get in continent, with whole patches of land changing to the Shah's black and white corrupted areas and refugees seeking shelter from the war. But there are many different storylines, and completing a zone fully generally rewards your efforts with some pretty impressive in-game cutscenes that threads everything together you've been doing in that zone. I've only seen the Horde side of this content so far, but from what I could tell, you will be doing the same quest since I've had plenty of Alliance stealing my kills.
To ask why we fight is to ask why the leaves fall. It is in their nature. Perhaps there is a better question.
Mists of Pandaria harkens back to the previous expansions such as Lich King and the Burning Crusade, where there is a new landmass to explore that is connected together. This is a benefit since the previous expansion was a disconnected mess of content. With flying mounts disabled as well, you can't just skip content like in the Cataclysm, where you can fly to the objective and ignore them. This was a smart design choice to go back to. Yes, it's a pain you need to fight your way through all these monsters again, but I'm sure you can handle it if you've reached this level 85 so far. It is, however, a more linear story, where you'll be doing a bunch of quests in one area, then move to the next. However, these quests aren't your generic kill X monsters or fetch me X bear asses. There are many scenarios that get you doing things you generally never do. One section in particular near the start of the Horde questline will have you reliving a series of events through flashbacks. These range from sniper rifle sections or a stealth mission to save another NPC. This is a great piece of content to experience first time with its storytelling being a main drive, but a second time? Maybe not as much, since you won't have that thrill or the surprise you'll get. But who can say? I know people who have multiple characters at max level. I wish I had the time to do that again. Another design change has been the character class and specializations and how they work now. There are still 3 trees for each class, and when you choose one, you learn different spells and abilities for that class. Say you chose to be a holy paladin who focuses on healing. You'll gain access to the more powerful healing abilities earlier on, and unique healing spells that the other 2 specs would not get access to. This lets you get the spells you need to do the chosen job instead of leveling to level 60 plus for those important skills. Also, every 15 levels you get to choose from 3 new skills up to a new level cap of 90. These give you massive bonuses somewhere, but these aren't essential to your spec, but more of a benefit. For someone who's been playing this game as long as I have, it was tricky having to relearn everything again, but if you're starting from level 1, it will be a blast. There is of course the new monk class that I've still not had a chance to play around with, but have been doing quests with fellow monk players. They seem to be dependent on mobility and using chi energy to activate its abilities. The class can be played as a tank, DPS or healer, so there is something for everyone's preferred play style.
Oh, I understand perfectly. I have eyes. But Pandaria is not like whatever land you came from. It lives and breathes. You should be careful what kind of energy you bring here. Now put those weapons away!
So, why is this expansion better than Cataclysm? The simple answer is, there is stuff to do when you reach level 90, other than raiding. There are fun activities to do, such as a Harvest Moon style game of owning your own farm and becoming friends with the villagers throughout Pandaria, or pet battles, which is basically Pokemon, with around 150 plus non-combat pets to collect. This feature will let players do something when not focusing on raiding, and it's surprisingly addictive. The different factions in Pandaria also have you performing different objectives, from the lore walkers who want you to learn about the history of the continent, to an epic quest line, which will let players gain access to their own legendary weapons. You have also got access to free endgame raids, with one being open each week, and each of these having heroic versions open soon after that. Dungeons also make a return along with heroic versions of them, and classic dungeons like Scarlet Monastery and Skullman's have been recreated for a retro throwback. There is also a new mode for dungeons called Challenge Mode, where you are tasked to do a speedrun in the dungeon, and this lets you get access to some of the more flashier gear in the game. Scenarios are a mini free player instance that lasts around 15 minutes, which doesn't need a generic tank healer DPS group, but can be completed with anyone. These also give you opportunity to experience mini stories that you generally can only experience through raids. With the upcoming patch, there seems to be a big focus on scenarios and them telling the overall story of this expansion. I've also got to mention a feature which was brought in at the end of Cataclysm, looking for raid route. This is a saviour for casual players who can't dedicate their timetable to guild timetables for raiding. I didn't get to experience a lot of Cataclysm raid content since my guild had either too many tanks attending or I was working on a raid night. This put me off Cataclysm, as this was the only content you could do in that game. I'm looking forward to doing the raiding at my own pace now. All in all, there is a lot to keep you busy in this expansion.
Recall time! I know what happened next! Pick me! Over here! We kept going south, until Shakir started whining about something.
Look, up ahead! An Alliance bomber! Don't you dare follow, Rico! I don't want you messing things up again!
No, you tick-joggling orc! Rico's done following you stupid orders! You nothing but a flip-cheeking, dickety-doke banker with an oak for a head! Maybe Rico lost temper. Little bit.
Like at the start of this impression podcast, I said I thought this is downfall of WoW, and a bit of a joke. I couldn't imagine Blizzard getting the tone right for this expansion, but they did. This place fits in perfectly with the other WoW landmasses and lore. The art direction Blizzard went for in Mists of Pandaria is a mix of WoW art style and feudal Japan. It feels like a watercolour picture has come to life, and it's really surprising with this game being over 8 years old now. Music has always been a way to get across the area's feeling, and the choice to use a lot of Japanese-inspired music works perfectly. It feels like you're watching a classic kung fu movie. There is a lot more voice work in the game than in any other expansion, which is great for the storytelling here. From the Pandarians with their calming voices, the Grumbles, who are a race of Yodas, to the hilarious Hosen, the primate race of Pandaria, who are the highlight of this expansion, and you will giggle whenever you get a voice over for them. I feel sorry for the Alliance who don't get to experience this race fully like the Horde do. The Mishima part of Blizzard have been working in overdrive as well to deliver some great in-game cinematics, and there is a lot. From the war aspect when you arrive in Pandaria, and the Karate Kid style montage of you learning Kung Fu. One thing though I've got to knock Blizzard for is their use of sound channels. In other RPGs you have the option to increase the volume of voices, sound and music, but in WoW since day one the sound and voice channels have always been put through one channel. So when in middle combat you can't hear the stellar voice work because it's getting drowned out by the clashes of swords and things you're hitting.
Ah, a visitor! This is an incredible time for Pandaria. The mists have parted, and we rejoin the world. You come in peace, I hope.
Mists of Pandaria is a love letter to fans who fell out with WoW over the horrible Cataclysm. With the amount of content you could do at level 90, there will be plenty to keep players busy. It's still a great piece of content to experience for just 1 month's worth of subscription as well. With the game dropping to £25 in some stores, it's a lot cheaper than most new games. If you didn't like the Cataclysm, give Pandaria a go. You might be surprised. I've had a blast playing this expansion so far, even with my busy timetable. I can still find myself playing this over the next few months, especially going off the patch notes for the test realms and what is coming to this game. But for now, time to get to level 90 quickly.
Why do we fight? To protect home and family. To preserve balance and bring harmony. For my kind, the true question is, what is worth fighting for?